You see ceramics every day, but 1,000 years ago, they hadn't even been introduced. The use of ceramics in everyday life went from being used for fermenting and preserving fish sauce to being used as decor in homes, the dishes we eat from every day, and an art that we are surrounded by. How has the importance, use, and style of ceramics sculpted and changed over the many years?
Ceramics has been around for over thousands of years. Over this time, its uses and importance has changed dramatically. The oldest known ceramics artifact is dated back as early as 28,000 BCE. When it was discovered that clay was found in abundance and could be formed into objects by simply mixing it with water and firing it, a new industry was born. Between 28,000 BCE and 1,500 BCE, many advancements were made. Many ceramic figurines were being used for ceremonial purposes, and Chinese pottery had just made an appearance. These products ranged from construction materials like bricks and tiles, all the way to hand-built vessels that were fired in bonfires or kilns. In the eyes of the sophisticated Chinese, porcelain was identified with China, and it is still called China in everyday English usage. Ceramics began to spread rapidly in Eastern Asia. This was also the same time pottery vessels were first being used. The first use of glazes were in the Nile Valley of Egypt. They were also the first to use tools made from natural glass. The earliest known kiln was found at a site in modern Iraq around 3500 BCE. The wheel was invented, which coincidentally was the same time glazed pottery was fully produced in Mesopotamia.
Pottery is one of the oldest human inventions, originating before the Neolithic period, with ceramic figurines discovered in the Czech Republic dating back to 29,000 and 25,000 BC, and pottery vessels that were discovered in Jiangxi in southern China, which date back to 18,000 BC. Fragments of ancient pottery found in China turned out to date back to 20,000 years, making them the world's oldest known pottery, 2,000 to 3,000 years older than the example found in other parts of Asia and elsewhere. The ceramics probably consisted of bowl-shaped vessels that were likely used for cooking food. Agriculture in the Middle East arrived about 1,000 years before it did in China, but pottery was not used in the Middle East until much later, perhaps around 6,000 BC. Excavations in 1998 uncovered earthenware fragments which have been dated as early as 14,000 BC and likely earlier. Then about 1,500 years ago, a new firing method using a tunneled kiln called anagama was introduced in Korea. In this method, clay shaped on a potter's wheel was fired at temperatures over 1,832 Fahrenheit for long drawn-out periods. With these advancements, pottery became producible in large amounts. Anagama was further developed into noribagama, in a climbing kiln which was able to fire many items at the same time. In the Nara period, people started to use glaze made from glossy powders. The glazing and firing of ceramics resulted in bright and soft-colored vessels that were also used to prevent water leakage. Porcelain was introduced from Korea. During the Azuchi Moyama period, these ceramics were less distributed by environmental causes such as temperature and humidity, making them even more durable.
Do you think you come into contact with ceramics in your day-to-day life? Do you still think it's relevant in today's society? In fact, ceramics is an essential part of our daily lives because it makes up many essential things we need both indoors and outdoors. There are 8 major ways ceramics is a necessity in our modern day lives. Our roofs, bathroom, kitchens are covered in ceramic tiles. Our homes are made from bricks and are held together by ceramics, both of which are types of ceramics. Ceramics can be glazed or fired so it becomes non-porous, perfect for sanitary use like toilets, sinks, and bathtubs. There are some non-obvious uses of ceramics also, like NASA's space shuttle that had thousands of heat-resistant tiles protecting its exterior from overheating. Ceramic components such as chips and tools for insulation can be found in almost all aspects of vehicles, machinery, and technology. Toughened ceramics is used for hip replacement and designed for porous so that it can stimulate natural bone growth and be an artificial joint. If there are uses of ceramics that are so drastic, do you think the style has changed also?
Ceramics and pottery is one of the oldest forms of art, and unsurprisingly has changed massively over time. The question is, what caused the change in the style of ceramics from round vessels to abstract sculptures? In early Neolithic times, ceramics pieces were round-bellied vases with a smooth, stable foot. Clay then was brown, and no glazes had been made, so pieces had an earthy look. Not until Middle Neolithic times did the shape of ceramics change. Amphora was the next ceramic form that originated in Greece. Painting was introduced as well, and many pieces were polished and embellished with flowing stripes, dots, and spirals. Asia was home to many new ceramic techniques. In China, zoomorphic figures were made. Ceramic pieces were made thinner and decorated with fancy handles, spouts, and feet. Glazes, underglazes, and paints had been created, but the most innovative change to ceramics was China's invention of porcelain clay, the first ever white clay. Ceramic style has had the ability to change so much because of the innovation of tools, supplies, decorations, and clay. Ceramic artists today are more abstract than ever. Christopher David White makes hyper-realistic ceramic pieces that look like wood. Rhett Kern makes pop art sculptures that look exactly like inflatable toys. John Sang makes unsettlingly lifelike pieces that look like liquid frozen in time. These ceramic artists want to trick us and make us question our realities. Ceramics will always be made to function. Without it, many people wouldn't have a plate to eat dinner off of. However, the innovation of ceramic style has caused pieces to become more and more decorative. Only time can tell what happens next.